Okay, modelers, so I'm a little bit excited about this. I just picked this thing up for $20 at a swap meet, like a local club, and the guy's had this in his storage for I don't know how long, but I talked him down to selling to me for $20. So I'm pretty excited about this because this is one of those kits I've wanted to build for a long time. Apparently, this is a very nice kit. It's the Jagdtiger with the Zimmerit, the pause production type. And this thing is an absolute mammoth beast, and it's something I've really been looking forward to doing, especially the one with the Zimmerit on it. You can get the ones without the Zimmerit, and you can put the Zimmerit on yourself, but this one actually comes with the Zimmerit inside the box. And like I say, I picked it up for $20, so I'm a little bit excited to show you guys what's inside the box here. So we're going to do a little bit of an in-box review of what's in this kit. Now, as you can see, beautiful box art. I mean, Dragon normally does do really nice box art, but that's just absolutely beautiful. I just love that box art on there. On the sides here, you've got a couple of different patterns. Hang on, guys, let's turn these lights back on for you. Hopefully they'll readjust. I need to get a little bit of light so when I open the box, you can actually see what's inside it. But as you can see, you've got a couple of different paint patterns on there. On the other side here, typical Dragon, they're going to show you like some of the detail that's in this. And as you can see in the tail end here, that's just beautiful. I actually love that. Like just that little bit of Zimmerit up the middle there. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And they show the Zimmerit on the front, the barrel rest and all that sort of thing. Even the Zimmerit over the guards there. As you can see, it's a really nicely detailed kit, guys. So anyway, we'll open the box up, and I haven't opened this one yet, so it actually has been opened. Probably the guy that had it before me has opened it. I thought I had to cut the tape off it, but I don't. But it's a little bit tight, so it obviously hasn't been opened for a while. But anyway, guys, here we go. Typical Dragon stuff. You open the box and it's just a box full of goodies. Absolutely love it. Like when I open these boxes and look in there and see that, I can see the individual track links, I can see photo etch, I can see the cables, it's just absolutely beautiful stuff. I'm just going to zoom the camera back out a little bit, guys, hopefully so you can see the full instructions here. Okay, so the front page calls out, like all your sprue parts and all that sort of thing. And then we go to, not page 14, we'll go to page 1. So up here it's got like the details in the instructions, like be careful, drill holes, blah blah blah. And down here we start on the road wheels. These are the dry sprockets. Then it looks like we're starting on the suspension that goes onto the hull there. So a little bit different to a lot of armour, because most armour you build all the road wheels is the first thing you do. But up here it's showing the road wheels get put together up here. Forgive my dirty hands, guys, I'm still modelling at the moment, so it's saying like by 4 and by 4 and by 4. So rather than going on the front page, it's putting these as they go onto the sprockets. Then we've got that beautiful tail end going on there. Paint call outs and stuff like that all the way through. Tail end going on. And then over on the next page, step 7, we've got the jack going together. Now normally with Dragon kits, this is one of those things with Dragon kits, they always have the jack in smaller parts that you put together, which is quite a nice feature, because if you see Tamir and that, I mean, they do look nice and they do look the part and all that sort of thing in one piece, but when you put them together like this, they do look a little bit more detailed, especially if you clean the flash up and everything. And on here we've got the covers for the exhaust going on there, a few more tail details going on. We've got the top part of the turret going together here with the covers on the hatches, exhaust systems and things like that. Over on the next page here we've got the top part of the turret again, with all the details like the tools, the grab handles, stuff like that going on there. And as you can see, it's a whole page full of that, so there's quite a bit of detail on this thing. It's like the Jade Panther. Like you look at it and think, oh, it's just so plain and boring hull, but there's actually quite a few parts that go together to make that hull up. There is quite a bit of detail in there. If you spend the time and do it properly, they do look very, very nice, these kits. Okay, so we've got the gun going together here, the main gun. and it looks like there's a bit of detail on the inside here. Like most dragon kits do this, so that you can have the hatches open at the top, and you can see like the loading mechanisms and things like that. They don't have the seats and all that sort of stuff and the engines and all that, but you don't really need it because you're not going to see that far down into the hole because it's going to be fairly dark. If you open the hatches, all you're going to really see is the gun placement. And then we've got the top part of the hole going on. We've got our main barrel going together in two pieces here. I did think, oh yeah, there is. So you don't need to do the two pieces. There's actually a metal barrel inside this, so that's beautiful. So you don't really need to do that step. You've got a metal barrel there. You've got your casing and that for the barrel to go into. A little bit more detail going on at the top here. And I think that's pretty much it for the assembly. And then there's two options here in this kit. Now as far as what option I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with this one down here, German 1944, but with a winter coat over it. I do like this look as well with the beautiful camouflage pattern, but I want to do a little bit of a winter whitewash on this one. I just love this tank with like that winter whitewash look to it, because it did get a fair bit of use in the winter. So I think I'm going to go with this bottom one. I might change my mind as I go through it, guys, but anyway, we'll see what happens when we get to it. But we'll go through the parts here in the box, and like I say, that beautiful metal barrels in there for us. Got a bit of photo etch going on down here. Our decals, well, typical dragon stuff, you can't fill any edges on there. They're nice fine decals. We get our viewfinders there in the glass, and we've got our metal U-bolts there as well, and they're made of metal. That's absolutely beautiful, guys, because a lot of kits come with the plastic ones and they've got a seam line over them you've got to clean up and all that sort of thing. So these have got the metal U-bolts, plus we've got the pin that goes through them. We've got our tow cable there, and obviously we'll have our ends that go onto that at some stage. And these are like this photo etch part here is obviously your exhaust vents and things like that. So really nice stuff. So obviously these guys here are all our track links, so it's individual track links, which beautiful because you can get them to sag and all that sort of stuff and make them look as really realistic. And on this sprue here we've got our exhaust over on this side. We've got plastic U-bolts here as well, so you've got the option to use the plastic ones obviously. So I'm not sure, there's 4 of them in there, so there should be 2 on the front, 2 on the back. So you've got the option there to use plastic or metal, so obviously going to go with the metal. We've got our dry sprockets going on over here. We can't see any flash on this, guys. I've got my goggles on here at the moment just to make sure. Obviously, like most of these kits, they do have a seam line running around the middle that you have to clean up, but they do look quite nice. Now this part here has grabbed my eye as soon as I open the box. Now this is the top part of the hull, and this is absolutely beautiful, guys. I'm looking at the Zimmerit finish on this, and it's absolutely beautiful. Hopefully the camera will focus enough for you to be able to pick some of this stuff up. Hang on, I'll just get this to try and focus for you. So anyway, there's beautiful Zimmerit right up to that top layer there. Now they didn't cover this top little part here because no one's ever going to climb that far up the tank to stick a mine on it. They ain't done it so far up the hole because this is an enormous beast. But the detail on this is absolutely beautiful, guys. The bolt holes and things like that, the rivet heads and stuff, absolutely gorgeous. Really nice fine detail. You do have the spars down in here, which is obviously the part of the manufacturing process you've got to cut out and clean up. And we're going to look at the lower part of the hull here now, guys. And again, this has got some really nice detail on it, even though it's very plain, because with Dragon you've got to put all the stuff together and then put it on the hull. But you've got some nice bolt holes and things like that. One of the things about Dragon kits that I love is that they put all this detail underneath, so if you want to have this thing upside down, it'd even look brilliant. But very nice there. And in here, oh, look at this checkered plate we've got in here. This is absolutely beautiful, guys. Hopefully this camera's going to focus. I'm going to try again to get it to focus. But you can see the detail down in here, guys. Absolutely beautiful. That checker plate is really nicely done. This is obviously the bottom part of the barrel, like the main loading mechanism. nice and thick. There's not a lot of detail there because this is a big thick machine mechanism. It's got to be thick and heavy, so there's not going to be a lot of detail on that. Machine gun here, the MG42, is absolutely beautiful, guys. The detail in that is really nice. They've even got the trigger inside the hatch there, so very nice. On here we've got our hatches, and I'm just trying to look to see if there's any flash. No flash on there. This is looking at the underneath sides of them, guys, so you've got the handles and everything, so you can have them open. The handle's already there. I dare say with most Dragon kits they have the option to put the handles on in photo etch. You can cut that off, put photo etch, but we'll see about that. There's tools on here, fire extinguisher, things like that. We've got the base of our barrel here that cover the main breech, and that's the barrel and the plastic. But not that you worry about putting that together, because like I say, you've got the metal one there, so you're not going to worry about that. And here comes our road wheels and our suspension, and as you can see there's lots to go together here just to put the road wheels and suspension together. The detail on these is quite nice. I'm just looking at the bolt heads around these. Actually no, they're not too bad, because with these tanks they had a heavy bolt and a light bolt, and a heavy bolt and a light bolt, and that's actually represented there. It's quite nice. It's really nicely done there. The rivets and stuff, a little bit of texture around them. So yeah, that doesn't look too bad. There's absolutely no flash, but there is a seam line around the road wheels. Like most armour, you're going to have that seam around there. It's just something they can't avoid with the manufacturing process. That will have to be cleaned up. Our last sprue here. Now these are obviously the guards. We've got our back part here. Got our front plate on there. Now even the guards with the zimmerit on there, the zimmerit is really nice. It's not like it's just completely uniformed and just doesn't look right. This has actually got a few imperfections and stuff in it, so it looks really realistic, guys. It looks really nice. And these are our exhaust covers down here. Again, those big thick heavy bolts that held those on, very nicely done. And looking down here at the front guards, yeah, everything's beautiful, guys. Even the tools, the axes, the cutters, the wedges, everything's just beautiful. Here's parts of our jack. There's that fire extinguisher. The grab handle here is very fine. That's probably one of those things, guys, when you go to try and cut that off the sprue, it may cause a bit of a problem because it's so fine, and if you cut it too close, the sprue is going to either break it or put an indentation in it. You're never going to be able to fix that up. Our machine gun base here, again with the zimmerit over it, really nice on the inside. There's no injector pin marks on the outside. Everything's on the inside, so it's really well thought out, like most Dragon kits. And here we go. Here's the wire rope that we're talking about. Here's the ends that go onto that wire rope. And again, more tools here. We've got our shovel, sledgehammer, axe, prizer, cutters, all that sort of thing. The big flat spade. But yeah, look, very nice, guys. So if you do pick this kit up, you know what to expect now. It's a really nice kit. Definitely worth the money that they're charging for it. I mean, normally you pay about $80 or $90 for this thing here in Australia. I was just so lucky to pick this up for 20 bucks. I can't believe my luck. I mean, I don't normally have that sort of luck. And as you guys know, at the moment I'm out of work, so to be able to pick something like this up for that sort of money, it's just, yeah, I'm very lucky, guys. So anyway, guys, I'll put all this back in the box, and this is one of those builds I'm so excited to do. I think I'm going to get it stuck straight into this. It seems to be my videos. Most people like to see the German armour build up. So I really want to get stuck into this, guys. Not just for you, but for me as well. I love German armour. Especially I wanted to start doing like a winter coat on something. I haven't done that for a while. Really looking forward to doing this build. So anyway, guys, this is the inbox review. I'll put this at the beginning of the build as well. Okay, modelers, so up to the point now that I've done the base coat. I used the hairspray technique, which means I've done the base coat, sprayed hairspray, like 3 good coats of it over there. Then I used the Tamiya white, this guy here, Okay, and then I done like just chipping, just dip your brush in water and run it over there, and it starts breaking that white paint back off to give it that winter wash look, with the winter wash starting to break away because it's been on there for a while. The crew's been climbing over, it's been driving through brushes and stuff like that. I've put on like the undercoat colour here underneath where the guards would have been, because they would have had the guards on when it was still in the undercoat colour, and then painted, you know, like over the guards, but the undercoat colour would have still been under there. I've got like this one here is going to be a little bit of battle damage. That's not going to actually stay that colour. It's going to be sort of darkened up and have a little bit of chipping and that around it. On this side here, there's a couple of parts here where the Zimmerit has actually fallen away, broken away from the tank itself. Now, what used to happen is it'd break away, you'd see the undercoat colour in the middle, then you'd see like a stark white, which is the colour of the actual Zimmerit itself around the edges of that breakaway. So I'm going to go around and touch that up afterwards. But all I've done now is I've put a coat of clear over it, just the future, just straight future, just sprayed straight out of the airbrush over it to seal it. And I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go over and start doing some washes. I'm going to do like a general, like a filter wash over the whole thing to start with. Then I'm going to do some pin washes around all the detail to make them pop out and stand out a little bit. Now at the moment the winter whitewash chipping technique looks a bit rough and rugged, but if you see photos of some of these tanks in the war, this is what used to happen. It used to break away in big chunks depending on what type of material they used. Some of them just used lime mixed with water, and some had white paint. It depended on what they were painted with. But I wanted this one to be fairly beaten up. It's going to be fairly dirtied up with a bit of mud and stuff like that. So I'm sort of happy with the results at the moment. It might look a little bit rough at the moment, but once we start weathering it up and getting it to the point where it starts to look like a real machine, you'll see that these techniques all sort of tie in together and come together towards the end of the build. But anyway, guys, I'll keep getting on with this, and I'll turn it back on at the next stage. Okay, modelers, so our Jagdtiger is now finished off, and I'm not overly pleased with the finish. I mean, there's some things on there I'm disappointed with, but I mean, overall appearance it looks okay. But I just want to go through the things that I've done, like after I last had the camera on, because I thought I'd recorded some of the process, but I've lost it somehow. I don't know whether the chip didn't record it or whether it was corrupted or whatever, but a lot of the process, the weathering and that, I lost it, sorry. But I'll just explain what I've done. I think the last bit of footage I got is doing the hairspray technique with the white over the base coat and chipping that off. That was mainly done around hatches. There's some big chunks up around the middle and stuff like that, because it's supposed to be, like done with like a lime and water mix. So it would have been wearing off and coming off in big chunks and stuff like that. Then after that, I sealed that finish. Then I went around and started putting like the detail and that, painting the detail up. Like the tools and stuff like that, putting those on there. I put the muzzle protector on the front here as well. That's just made out of tissue. I've done the base up. That's just done like I normally do with with the plaster and putting a bit of dirt on top. This one here, I sort of dug the tank in fairly well while it was still soft to make it look like the tank's fairly heavy and it's squashy sort of ground. The snow is like a snow product that I bought years ago. I've never used. It's this stuff here, and I've got to say I'm not overly impressed with it. I mean, it has its place obviously, but it's really light and fluffy. It's just too fluffy. You can't get it to sit on anything unless you pat it down, and then it disappears. But one of the things about patting it down, it looks like it's actually melted ice, as you can see on the tracks here. So it's sort of still half frozen, half melted. It's like sleety looking stuff. Which is a good effect for the tracks, but trying to put it on the groundwork was a real pain. And if I put it on the tank, it just did not look right. There's better products out there. But the next part of the weathering process was just mixing up some weathering powders with some white glue, some water, and some actual dirt from the backyard. Mixed that up in a cup, and I went around and stabbed it all underneath here, all up in the tracks. I'd done a bit of light spraying to spray a darker colour up here where the guards are missing, and all the mud and stuff would have sprayed all up the side of the tank. I'd done a bit of splatter work with some of that same mud and that on a toothbrush, and then just sort of flicked it along, so it sort of flicked up the side of the tank sort of thing, so it's not too heavy, it's just sort of flicked everywhere. That's pretty much all I done, guys. After that, I put the extra tracks on here, rusted those up with some rust coloured paints and some rust powder, and then I've sealed it all with the Testors dull coat, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I've done to finish it off. I'd done a few little things that to try and make it a little bit different, like the plate on the back here. I painted it in the undercoat colour, so it's like a spare one they've had to pick up and put on there. I've got a burn mark on the back. I've put battle damage on the side here. Hopefully you can see that okay. You'll probably pick it up. I will take a few still shots of this, guys, to try and get some photos to give you a better idea what it actually looks like, but I'll turn it around while we've got the video on anyway. A fair bit of mud and stuff up under the front here and up over the front, because they would have copped a fair bit of mud and stuff up over the front of them. This side here, pretty much the same, except I've only got one guard left at the back here. The other one's got two guards left on that side. Again, you can see all the stuff on the tracks, all the ice and the mud and things like that. There's no battle damage on this side. All there is a bit of the Zimmerit coat is chipped off, so it's left the undercoat underneath there, and I went around the edge of it in a white, so it looks like it's just broken away not too long ago. Another bit of Zimmerit broken off up the front up here. At the back we got our exhaust. I've done a little bit of wear and tear around the hatches on the doors here where they would have been getting in and out. I thought about putting some dirty tracks like up over the back here where the crew would have been climbing up and down muddy conditions and things like that. I sort of didn't really want to do that. I got to a point where I'd forgotten about it, that I don't want to go back and do that process. So that's something you probably could add if you ever do armour like this, guys. Put the exhaust stains around the back here, like that bit of black soot. It's just black weathering powder to put a little bit of exhaust staining on there. The exhausts themselves are rusted up the same way as these tracks, just rust coloured paints and then the rust weathering powder over the top of that. And that's pretty much about it, guys. You've seen right around the whole thing there now. Like I say, I'll take some still shots of her. I mean, like I say, I'm not 100% pleased with it. The tools I've still got to touch up a little bit, and I'm going to waiting for that to dry off a little bit. I'm going to actually retouch those tools up. They're too black at the moment. I'm going to dry brush them with a bit of silver to sort of make them stand out a little bit more. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I can tell you. The one step I missed out is I did do some pin washes and stuff on there as well, guys, and done a few little streaking effects. But other than that, that's everything's been explained. But what I've done. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the build. Sorry I lost those weathering parts, but yeah, I'll do another tank like this one day and you'll be able to see what I've done. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.